Welcome to Get Your FRQ On. This question is from 2026. It's question 1, and it is calculator active. In the question stem, we have male birds of a certain species arriving at a nesting area over a 30-day period. The rate at which the male birds arrive at the nesting area at time t days is modeled by a differentiable function m, where m of t is measured in number of birds per day. Selected values of m of t are shown in a table which is available in the question itself. In part A of this question, we are asked to approximate m prime of 7.5 using the average rate of change of m over the interval from 5 to 10 and to show the work that leads to our answer and to also indicate units of measure. Using the average rate of change formula to approximate m prime of 7.5. Over the interval from 5 to 10, we get m of 10 minus m of 5, all over 10 minus 5, which gets us 16 minus 7, all over 5, which is 9/5. So at t equals 7.5 days, the number of male birds of the certain species arriving at the nesting area is changing at a rate of 1.8 birds per day per day. In part B of this question, we are asked to use a midpoint approximation to find the value of the integral from 0 to 30 of m of t dt, specifically using the intervals from 0 to 10, 10 to 20, and 20 to 30, and then to provide the meaning of that integral. For this, we get the integral from 0 to 30 of m of t dt equals 10 times the sum of the values of m of 5, m of 15, and m of 25. We can do this because the intervals are of a uniform width, specifically 10. 10 times the sum of m of 5 plus m of 15 plus m of 25 is 70 plus 60 plus 20, which turns out to be 150. So we get a value of 150 for the integral from 0 to 30 of m of t dt. The integral from 0 to 30 of m of t dt is the total number of male birds of the certain species that arrived at the nesting area during that time period from t equals 0 to t equals 30 days. In part C of this question, we are given a piecewise function to represent the rate at which female birds are arriving at this same nesting area. And we are asked to determine how many female birds arrive over the interval from t equals 15 to t equals 45 days. Since this is a calculator active question, we can just use our calculator to find the integral from 0 to 45 of f of t dt, and that turns out to be 642 females. So during the time period from t equals 15 days to t equals 45 days, 642 female birds arrive at the nesting area. In part D of this question, we define the difference between the two functions m of t and f of t as a new function d of t. And we are asked to determine if d of t will ever equal 0 on the interval from 15 to 20 and to provide justification for our answer. To begin, since m of t and f of t are both differentiable functions, we can conclude that d of t is also differentiable, which implies that d of t is continuous. D of 15 is, by definition, m of 15 minus f of 15, which is 4. Note that 4 is positive. D of 20 by definition is m of 20 minus f of 20, which is negative 1.6863, and we note that this is negative. Since d of 20 is negative 1.6863, which is less than 0, and 0 is less than 4, which is equal to d of 15, we can use the intermediate value theorem here. And we can conclude that, yes, there is some time t between 15 and 20 seconds, such that d of t is equal to 0. If you like the AP Calculus free response question solutions and want more of them, don't forget to like the videos, subscribe to the channel, and you can also find me on X at x.com/getyourfrqon.